Hey, it's Serena Myers, and I actually had been hesitating on doing this video because I'm in between hair colors, which is why you can see that it's kind of blondie instead of pink, which is my normal jam and certainly part of my brand. So I was hesitating doing this, but I've just decided I'm actually really excited about it, and I've been thinking about it for a couple of days, and I didn't want to hold back anymore. So I was in this other Facebook group, and they were asking about meditations, and people were kind of sharing different things that they really like. And some person started talking about binaural beats. And if you don't know, kind of my life before, I guess before, in between marketing and then starting my company, Pampered Goddess, I actually worked for 3 years as a brainwave technologist, which sounds super fancy, and I guess it kind of is. Um, but essentially, I worked with this really, really incredible technology that works on balancing and harmonizing brainwave patterns. And it would help people with things like problems with focus and depression, anxiety, sleep disorders, and all these different really, really wonderful things. And they were transforming their lives. It was very, very powerful work. And kind of our process, the way it would work is you would come in, you'd have an assessment. We would look at every hemisphere of the brain. Well, there's two hemispheres, every lobe of the brain, and see kind of what things were working really well and what things needed a little bit of help. And then we would create customized training programs, and we would analyze the data after every session, say, okay, these things came into balance, these things still need some work. So what does that have to do with binaural beats and of course, my current business, which is branding and marketing? People would use things like binaural beats or those raise your alpha waves or raise your delta wave CDs as, sort of inexpensive ways of being able to help their brain in some way or another. But the problem with those, and the reason they sort of freak me out, is the term I used, is that I don't know how they work. I don't know where they're raising, that frequency in the brain. So let's say delta as an example, because everybody knows delta is associated with sleep. So you're having trouble, you're going to go and buy your Raise Your Delta Wave CD, you're going to play it in your CD player or an MP3 or whatever, I guess now that we're not in the dark ages, and it's going to help you sleep. But here's the catch. You want to raise, so delta is a low frequency, you'd want to raise that in the back of the brain if you're wanting to help with sleep. But if you start to raise it in the front of the brain, you're going to have fogginess and trouble focusing and that kind of thing. So just to give you like a comparison, something like smoking a lot of pot, that creates low frequencies in the front of the brain. So you don't really want to have that, right? And that's what always made me nervous about things like binaural beats or those CDs that raise a particular frequency, is that it's too general. It's not focused on where it's going to be, and therefore it's not going to necessarily have the desired impact, or certainly it might come with other repercussions. And marketing and branding is the exact same thing. So you can go and buy, a cookie cutter template from Etsy or Fiverr or something like that. Same thing with your logo. You can have it be super generic, and it might look good and it might get the job done. And certainly if you're first starting out and that's all you can afford, then by all means, it's better than nothing. But it's not going to have massive impact with your people, and it's not going to truly express who you are and what your values are and what you're all about and what your why is, because that same package has been sold to bajillions of other people, right? It's like if you were to buy a business card that's pre-made from Vistaprint. I mean, like, it's a template. It's not customized. It's not reflective of you and what you're all about. So sure, it'll get the job done, but it's not going to have the same impact, and it's not going to be as powerful. And you'll notice how that's going to show up in your business. Now, again, if you're starting, it's actually better than doing nothing. So it's a good way to kind of like get your foot out, get your name out, get your foot in the door and whatnot, and start sort of building that momentum. And then once that starts to bring you in some clients, sure, then you can make an investment in a brand and in a fully executed website. I really believe in progress over perfection. So do something, don't do nothing. However, if you have the means, the time, and the ability to really go through a branding process, and I don't mean just with me, I mean with whoever, having it be really tailored and really expressive of you and your values, what you're all about, and who you're here to serve, is how you're going to be able to make the biggest splash and have the biggest impact with your people. Okay, so that is today's rant. I hope you're having a wonderful one. If you're catching this on the replay, hello, thanks for joining me. And that is it for now. So, mwah, have a great day.